Now, those who've known me for a while would know that my car ownership experiences have run the entire map. Started with a NB Mazda Miata, AP2 Honda S2000, moved on to a 987 Cayman S, A90 M3, and most recently the Subaru BRZ. I'm sure you've seen the videos. Today, I'm having one of my first drives in my dream car, a car that I now finally, after all these years, own. It's a Porsche 997.1 GT3. Can you tell I'm excited? Because I am excited. This is a car I've been wanting to drive and wanting to own for the longest time. After all, it's had probably the most hype of any Porsche on the internet. Every YouTube video you watch, every article you read is about the 997 GT3 and its supreme greatness. So, has it lived up to the hype? Is it everything I've wanted it to be? Well, let's find out. I'm going to take you for a quick drive. Conditions aren't ideal, but hey, that's what a 911 is kind of all about. It's all about driving it in rain or shine, snowing, wet, any kind of day, because you want to enjoy this car every day. It's the ultimate everyday sports car. We're entering our first corner here, and what can I say about the driving experience? Well, the front axle is completely alive. There's so much feedback through the steering. I can feel the entire deflection of the front contact patches as I load into and out of corner. Exiting the corner, I'm unwinding the engine all the way up to its higher revs. This 3.6 liter Metzger feels incredible. It is so involving in the power and the grip. The clutch, I gotta admit, is quite heavy, as is the gearbox, but once you start to get used to it, gear changes are so natural and so effortless. Yes, you're spending a lot of energy making those shifts, but it's also very rewarding. This is everything that's great about driving a manual. Lots of effort, lots of reward. And you don't get in this anymore. The 991 GT3s are all PDK only. What else can I say about the driving experience? Well, it feels very much like a 911, whereas a 981 Cayman or 991 Carrera tries very hard to hide its deficiencies. This car does not. This car absolutely embraces what it is. The awkward weight distribution, the very light pitter-pattery front end that understeers a bit as you enter the corner and locks on as you give it more throttle and transitions into a beautiful slight oversteering exit. There's so much traction that even in these conditions I feel a tremendous amount of confidence. We're approaching a nice corner here, so I'm just going to walk you through the corner experience. I'm going to blip down one gear into third, perfect rev match there. I'm going to blip down another gear to second, light tap on the ceramic brakes, enter the corner. I feel a bit of understeer setting in, but there's so much feedback. I know exactly what the front tires are doing. The car is starting to load up, I'm giving it more throttle, and now heroic traction at the exit. And unwind that beautiful Metzger engine all the way up to its higher registers. The grip, the poise, the sound, the feel of the chassis, the feel of the engine. This car feels so alive. I feel so alive driving it. This is everything that we want as an enthusiast in what we consider a driver's car. There's lots of adjustability in the chassis that you can control with the brakes and steering and throttle, and especially the throttle. Lifting off the throttle in the corner gives you a bit of a tuck-in on the front end. Getting back on the power gives you a little bit of a locked-in feel, and if you keep going on the power, you start to get a bit of oversteer. But there's so much rear end traction and so much feel, you never feel like the car is suddenly going to get away from you. I know we've heard all about the old scary 911 backwards running into the bush stories, but really, unless you really get it wrong or do something extremely stupid, especially on the street, it's a very friendly, very drivers-oriented car that many people can exploit. Here we are entering another sweeper here. There's so much feedback coming from the steering. I feel like my fingertips and my body is hardwired to the front axle. Grab a shift mid-corner, doesn't upset the balance. I'm going to tighten it up here for a late apex. And even feel those tar strips slipping around underneath me on the power. This 911 feels so special. It feels unlike any 911 I have ever driven. And I've driven lots of 997s, lots of 991s, and lots of 981 Caymans and Boxers, and 987 Caymans and Boxers. I haven't driven the new 991 GT3 and I'm very curious to see how it compares. But lucky for you, one of my best friends just bought one, so we will be doing some comparison drives very shortly. So make sure you subscribe to my channel. The other thing I really enjoy about being back in the Porsche is just the community. There's such an entire legion of enthusiasts dedicated to the Porsches, 911s, Boxers, Caymans. They get up at 5 a.m. to do drives, and it's such a treat to be able to meet other like-minded enthusiasts. Here we go, entering a tight left-hander, being quite conservative because of the conditions, but again, lots of feedback through the steering. I can feel it load up with the G-force, a little bit understeer, a little bit oversteer. Just whining the engine out. Wow, 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 wow. Wow. I think the GT3 is everything I imagined it would be, and then some. It's more than everything I wanted it to be. What an amazing experience. What a drive. What a car. I think every one of you watching out there on YouTube should really consider selling everything you own and buying one for yourself. 997 GT3. Do it before you can't get them anymore, because this kind of driving experience has sort of gone extinct. I know we're not going that far back. I mean, this is only a 2008, about a 7-year-old car, but you can't get this level of communication and involvement and feel from anything modern anymore. I mean, electric steering has kind of killed the very, very fine detailed old school Porsche feedback. And the new suspensions are so much more supple and compliant. This is very stiff in comparison, but it also gives you a lot of feel. It's a very nice, enjoyable kind of stiffness, but it's not so harsh that you can't drive this every day. I will be driving this car every day, and I will report back about what it's like to live with it. But so far, I know I'm in the honeymoon phase. This car is new to me. I am enjoying every minute of this GT3. So I've had the 997 GT3 for a short while now, and what can I say? Well, the driving experience is everything I'd hoped it would be, and then some. In fact, I'll go so far as to say this is a driving experience I've been waiting for my whole entire life. I look forward to putting many more miles on my new 997 GT3 and sharing that experience with you. It is my dream car, and I'm so happy to finally have it. But even more than that, I'm looking forward to many more 5 a.m. morning drives and new adventures with the Porsche Club, reuniting with old friends and making new ones. After all, that's what car enthusiasm is all about. It's about making friends and sharing the passion. I hope to share that passion with you. Be sure to stay tuned to my channel for a lot more Porsche content to come.